All right, busted out the pressure washer. I mean, I just painted this a year and a half ago, and I don't know, it's weird. It's getting this, over the winter, it got this weird mold growth on it in some spots, like right there, mainly up near the top there. A few spots here in the bottom. The front end was pretty bad too, so yeah, just going over it with the pressure washer, trying to get all that stuff off. And actually, this color wasn't, I didn't like it. I don't like it. I mean, it's okay. I like green, but it just didn't work out right. So I'm gonna repaint it. So pressure wash it, get another color. So you've seen me pressure wash, so I didn't need to film this for y'all, but that's what I'm doing. And then I probably won't film the painting either, maybe a little bit here and there. But we're gonna probably go with like a bluish gray, a little more modern color. So, but for now, just cleaning it up, prepping it, and getting it ready. All right, so my first clickbait thumbnail, maybe, if I was able to make it. So yeah, not getting rid of the actual house, but just getting rid of the greenhouse. Because yeah, that color didn't turn out like I wanted it to. So, oh well. Luckily, this is just a bread box for now without any trim on it, so it's pretty easy to change the color. It only took me 2 days to paint the house, and it wasn't like I did full days. I just did the first side, the front door side and that front piece here one day, and then went around the back and did the second half. And then here I'm just kind of getting this soffit area with some paint. Could have used a roller and it would have went a lot faster, but we just had a hand brush on hand, so we just did that. No big deal. The green up above and the peak there, I do end up painting it, but in the end I'm actually putting some cedar bevel siding up there, just that little accent piece, so that'll be covered up with wood there. So here, this is going to be the batten sections of the board and batten look. And they were sitting under the trailer, so they got a little mossy, and plus they, were sitting on a house beforehand and probably hadn't been cleaned in a long time, so we're just pressure washing the little side pieces of them and then going over the top and just giving it a nice clean to get rid of all the flaking paint and chip pieces and whatnot. And then we'll bring them over, and once we're done cleaning them all, we'll bring them to the chop saw and take ends off that are cracked and split or rotten. So that's what we'll do. I did a lot more of that than showed, but you got the point there. So here we are, just looking at the little ends, and some of them, they were okay on the ends, but it just, just old. So I just, freshen it up, cut it back a little 1/4 inch or so here and there. But then again, some of them were pretty bad, so just give you a breakdown of some of these, and then we will move on. So, well, yeah, it was nice to have enough of these on hand to hopefully get them all around the house. All right, here we are. Got all those planks pressure washed up. Did a few more today that I found in my shed over yonder way. So just did these today, did these last night. And there were some sample colors. And we got them all the way around here. Short ones, tall ones, all the way around the corner there. So yeah, now we'll just go through these and just cut off the bad spots, like so. And if there's any cracks or whatnot, like that, and where it broke here, stuff like this, cut that out, and then see what we need to make the battens for the board and batten look. All right, here we're just setting up the table saw because the other pieces that are pressure wash are the battens from the board and batten I had, and these are the boards from the board and batten. But we're using some of these to break them down for the trim for the corners of the house, the roof line, and especially for the window casings. Yeah, just wanted to show you breaking down a few of these, and I was using that little tripod outfeed roller, and it kept falling on me. It was just a little Habitat special I got for like $10. Still useful, but it's a little rickety. But oh well. But here we'll just give you an over-the-shoulder view, and we'll give you one in real time with actual sound, because I don't think I was listening to music at this time, so enjoy that. All right, there's the process there, and we'll give you a little breakdown of how this all went. All right, so I've been cutting a while, and it looks like I got stacks of 3 here. We got 11 stacks, so they're about 8 feet long. Some are 7, maybe a couple a little more or less. You know, I'll have to cut some parts out of them, cracks and whatnot. So right now we're probably sitting at about 250 feet of board, not board feet, but linear feet. And I was doing some quick calculations around what I need here, going around, so there'll be a top edge on the corners, coming down from the windows, all that good stuff. So, and around the doors. So I'm thinking I'll probably need maybe 580 or we'll say 600 linear feet of this stock in this width. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to keep cutting a whole bunch more. I got another stack here, and there's a few more down below down there. And these are my longer boards, the 8-footers, so I didn't really want to use them for this aspect of it. But then again, I always want to save my good wood for something else. So if not for my actual house, then what else? So who knows? Anyway, that's just me being crazy. But yeah, so I'll just keep cutting, and we'll see how far along I get, see if I get close to 600. I do have a ton more of these still at my mom's house, but I think they're more in the 7-foot length, so that's why I didn't want to cut down these 8-footers yet. And they're just such good pieces of, you know, thick cedar that I mean, there's knots in a lot of them, but a lot of them don't have any knots, and that's really hard to find these days. So I only paid $5 a board for these a few years back when I thought I was going to do actual board and batten on the siding here. But yeah, I mean, $5 is insanely good. And I'm getting about 3 boards out of each one of these ones. So about 3 of these boards. So, I mean, what is that? Like way less than $2 a board. And this stuff at even cut at this length, I don't know what their cost is at the depot or whatever at the lumber yard right now, but I'm sure it's more than sub $2. So yeah, we're saving a ton of money here, well over $1,000. So I'll figure it out though. Anyway, we'll keep cutting, and we'll get back to you when I'm done with that. All right, and just like with the battens, we're taking these boards and checking them out for the bad ends and cracks and knots and whatever. Yeah, this one, there was a lot of splits and whatnot in these boards, so I do have to cut down a whole bunch, which is how it goes. Yeah, it was fun. Nice to be able to break out the saws, and the no shirt and sun's out, guns out happening these days. Oh well, I like to sunbathe a little bit, so sorry to put you guys through this. But anyway, this is the trim color I'm using. So we're just hand doing it. And at first I started doing it one by one, and it was just taking forever. So I don't know what I was thinking. Probably should use a sprayer, but oh well, we'll do it by hand. But I ended up quadrupling them up, and it went by a lot faster. So we'll show you this. But yeah, it was like the same day, just a little bit later, and all of a sudden a rainstorm came through, and you can start to see some little splatters coming up here. And I didn't even get through this one, and I had to put everything away because the rains came. So here, we'll give you a little taste of that. You'll get to hear it here. Yeah, it really started to come down right when I was getting done. So, oh well, how it goes. And this was actually just a few hours later. The sun came out a little bit, dried up my table, so I was able to do some more. So yeah, I did a bunch of this and just give you a preview of just a few of them. Won't put you through all of the ones I painted, but yeah, we'll give you a little breakdown of that quick section here in a minute. All right, so what I'm about to show you here is, so obviously these were the boards from the board and batten, and I cut it into 3 sections for each board basically from what I had. So the middle one wouldn't really have any overlap, but the battens were right here. So originally I think they were stained, but then the house got painted, and so the battens were in the way. They didn't take them off when they painted it, obviously. So you had the paint on the board and the batten, but not from where it overlapped on the edges. And so in some spots it just has it's kind of like a lump. It's pretty tactile. Some of them not so bad. I think even this one isn't too bad. Like right here, you can't really feel too much, just a layer of paint, but in certain sections it got pretty thick. So when I put my new paint on there, it has a speed bump, so it doesn't look all that great. So I got this little rasp that I found at the Habitat store for $1, and I'm just basically going over the ridge there and scraping it off. And then when I get it all scraped off, I got this little barbecue scraper. I think it was $2 at the Habitat store too. And then we'll just clean it up and wire brush it so it's ready to accept the new paint. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing here. It's just another wonderful aspect of trying to reclaim wood. You save a ton of money, just like with this house. Bought a junker, but it takes a lot to get it back to good as new. So yeah, save money without having to buy new fresh milled wood. But then you got to put a ton of elbow grease into it to make it look good, and you have to cut ends off it. And so a lot of it, say you start out with 600 linear feet, but then when you cut off all the cracked pieces and knots and whatever at the end that are broken, then you end up with like 450 linear feet. So you always have to cut more and work more than you need, or you think you need. But in the end, you're keeping this out of landfill or keeping it from being burned and reusing it, putting it back to work. So anyway, so we'll show you some of that. Funny thing about this little tool here is that I didn't buy it specifically for this. I was just at the Habitat store and thought maybe I'd have a use for this at some point, literally like the day before I did this and that barbecue scraper thing. And so it worked out really well because it was like the perfect tool for what I needed it for. So whoopity-doo. All right, I just wanted to show these 4 boards that I got here. These are 4 that I had that I picked up along the way that are those kind that you see at the big orange or big blue box store, where it's the trim boards that are already primered. And I always wondered why they primered these boards. I was like, I can't imagine they're doing it for our benefit, but it's actually because they're trying to hide something. Because you think you get a full, nice board that's, one piece of hardwood or probably not hardwood, but maybe pine or something. But I pressure washed it and I could see right through it. And it kind of shows up now that I painted it. You can see this little section here is a little darker right here and a couple here and there. But what it is, these boards are basically like chunks of little 1x2s that are just a couple feet long. This one's not even a foot, and you can kind of see maybe the little jagged teeth in there. So yeah, they just grooved it and glued them all together to make a long board and put a rough sawn face on it. So that is why they primer them. So it makes sense. But yeah, so I just thought I'd show you guys that. I'll still use these. I mean, they're fine. I'll probably put them under the eaves, so you know they're not cedar, so they probably won't hold up to weather like the cedar boards will. So I'll put them like under there so they don't get as wet as the other boards might. So, but I thought I'd show that to you, and we'll keep going. All right, so by this point, I learned to not do one at a time when painting these, just putting them up at least 4 in a stack, flipping them over, doing the other side, and then knocking down the paint on the back side so it isn't bubbled up or too uneven, and just painting the front sides. And then in the end, I think the last few runs I just stacked up like 16 at a time and did one side of the ends there, flipped them over all 16, did the others, and then the front side. So yeah, it worked out all right. So anyway, so that's where we're at, getting it all prepped and ready to put the trim on. So we'll put that up on the next one. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on that one. Take care, y'all.